Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening to some of you, good morning to others. Thank you very much for joining us today in this session and in the World Disability Day. We are glad to have you here together with us. Also, a huge thank you to our three guest speakers, so to Moran, to Gael, to Daniel. We are glad to have you here also together with us today. And before going deeper into the discussion, and we have a lot to talk in this session, please just allow me to give a few words regarding our organization and also this concept of free online webinars that we have been developing. So I'm here today on behalf of the Integrated Dreams Association, that is a not-for-profit organization based in Portugal, and that is dedicated to promote the social inclusion of disabled people through sports. And at this organization, we have a flagship project that is the Football for All Leadership Program, that is a course designed to promote employability, entrepreneurship, and networking for disabled people in the sports world and in the sports industry. And this program will hopefully be back by October 2021, so already in a couple of months. And we are already working in the next edition of this program, and we hope to have some more news to share with you very soon. And in the meantime, since the beginning of October, we have been developing this concept of free online webinars, the Football for All talks that address different topics linked to sports, disability, and innovation. And this was a concept that we started in the beginning of October, so 2 months ago. And it has been taking place every week. And today we have our final episode for this year. We will probably be back to next year with some special episodes in some special days also. But we have been crossing different topics linked to sports, disability, and innovation with these webinars. And today we have here three champions, three top athletes. So I'm really happy to have Moran, Gael, and Daniel here today with us. And maybe here as a starting point for this webinar, and I will not even mention all their achievements, because if I start here talking about the achievements of these three top class athletes, I think we will not talk about anything more today, because we have here so many incredible achievements, from Paralympic medals to world championships, European titles, Asian titles. So we have here three really incredible people and athletes. And maybe I'll give the words first to Moran, and then to Gael, and then to Daniel, so that they could briefly introduce themselves and share a little bit already of their dream, their expectation for the next Paralympic Games that will take place next summer in Tokyo. So maybe here, starting first with Moran, then go to Gael, then to Daniel. Moran, do you want to kick off?
Yes, of course. So good afternoon to everybody, and I'm very excited and happy to take part. And thank you for inviting me. So I live in Israel. I won the bronze medal in Rio Paralympic Games in para rowing, but I haven't started my athletic career as a Paralympian. I actually started playing basketball when I was 9 years old, regular basketball. I wasn't born with a disability. And when I was 24 years old, I was a professional basketball player. I was a coach. I was a student, and I suffered a really rare condition called spinal stroke, and it left me paralyzed in my lower body. And at the beginning, I didn't think I will ever play sport again, because it was too devastating for me to realize that I cannot play on two legs anymore. But eventually I realized that the best place I could be and the best place for me is sport. And so I went back to play wheelchair basketball. And when I had my dream to be in the Paralympic Games, I was told that the team is not good enough. I need to take individual sport. And even though the only place I liked water was in the shower, I agreed to try para rowing. And that was a successful decision for me. I was the world champion in 2015. I've been on the podium in the last 6 years in every competition I competed. And my aim, of course, is Tokyo 2021. In the meantime, I'm also married. I have 2 children. So actually, I won one of my medals in the World Championship while I was pregnant. So I think maybe that's the best accomplishment. And the other one was 4 months after giving birth. It was 2018. So I have really amazing experiences with my family now, traveling around the world through competitions. And I'm really happy that my children will be 1 year older than they were supposed to be when we go to Tokyo, because it will make everything easier and maybe they can even remember it. So it's really nice. I have a boy and a girl, and I'm very, very excited to get ready for Tokyo. And I miss international competition. It's been too long since I felt the excitement of traveling. But I believe that things will get better and better, and we will go back to our fields of play and go back on traveling and competing.
Oh, great introduction, Moran. And it's also good to see that there, even in these different times, we can also find definitely some positive aspects. And this one that your children probably will remember better, Tokyo 2021, that they will remember if it was last year, is definitely a good thing. Is definitely a good thing. And maybe here now giving the word to Gael. Like Gael is also a top athlete, a blind football player from the French national team. And Gael, could you briefly introduce also yourself?
Yes, thank you a lot for inviting me in this session. It was a pleasure for me to to be involved in this meeting with the other athletes around the world. We don't have any opportunity to talk together, so it's very, very great to have this kind of session. So my name is Gael. I'm 30 years old, sorry, and I played blind soccer in the French national team since 2006. To describe shortly my player backgrounds, as many players with disability or without disability, I started playing football when I was a child. By this time, I was strongly and positively inspired by the French national team, which won a World Cup in France, and I started to play like to make the same thing that I can hear on the radio because I was born blind, and so even if I will not able to I was not able to see the game on the TV. This moment was very amazing for me and was good remembers too. And yeah, it was my inspiration to start to play football. Actually, I say play soccer, but the true words were probably to say that I kick in the ball because I didn't know that there is a football for blind, and to be able to play, I just put a ball inside a plastic bag to hear it, and I played with my neighbor like this. And when I went to Paris to study, I started to play in the French championship, French national championship, and maybe after 2 years, I began my career with the French national team. And as player of the French team, I believe I could say that I have almost experienced every kind of feelings that an athlete could have, because we won twice the European Championship, and we won a silver medal in London in the Paralympics. But we also lost many times, and we experienced some cruel defeats, like we failed to qualify for the Paralympic Games in Beijing, and we lost only by 1-2 in the semifinals. So it was very, very hard for me. But it was also an event that gave me the the ambition to be stronger, and to maybe if we didn't experience that things, we didn't won the silver medals in London after.
Great.
So about the Paralympic Games in Tokyo, of course, we are looking forward to participate, to share this moment with the people. My concerns is only to be sure that we could have some people in the stadium, because I think it's the things that make the Paralympics so special is to have the stadium full with people, and I really hope that the situation will be better enough to have a lot of people in to share with them that these Paralympic Games.
It's true, and we all hope to have people back in the stands soon, and
Yeah.
because sports needs fans also, and and you all know this better than me, that it's totally different to do your sports with the support of fans, and some of them are people like family, as Moran, and others are people that you even don't know, but and on that moment you feel close with them, because you all have the same objective, and you are all in the same road. And now going here also to Daniel, like Daniel is a top para-badminton athlete, number 2
Yes.
in the current ranking, and Daniel will be for the first time in the Paralympic Games in Tokyo, because this will be the first games ever with para-badminton included. So it's also a really big news for the Paralympic movement to have para-badminton included. And
Yes.
Daniel, could you please briefly also introduce yourself and also your dream for Tokyo?
Yes. Good morning, everyone. I'm saying good morning because now actually in Hong Kong now is 1 in the morning. So, but I'm
Wow.
still awake because I'm really excited for the webinar. So I make sure that I will keep awake in the coming 1 hour. And yes, my name is Daniel, and I'm the first wheelchair badminton players in Hong Kong. That means before me, there's no one playing wheelchair badminton in Hong Kong until I come up. So I'm a wheelchair player, but actually I'm not natural born with disability. It was 13 years ago that I meet a traffic accident, and I have so many surgery, and I become to be a disabled athlete. Luckily, badminton helped me a lot to rebuild my life, to rebuild my confidence, so that I involve lots of my time into badminton. And time by time, I started my badminton training. Before my accident, I'm a leisure player. So I can tell everyone a funny thing. When I was in hospital, someone come just next to my bed. When I lie on my bed, I cannot sit down. And then they say, okay, I book you as a disabled athlete for badminton. So during I'm in hospital, I'm already been chosen into the badminton team. So so time by time, I start my career as a badminton player, and now I have been being the Hong Kong representative for 10 years, and I have already gained nearly 62 international medals in single events. So it's not bad. So yes, Jose said a lot of script that what I'm going to say, and maybe some audience don't know that badminton is a Olympic event since 1992, but for para-badminton, it was the first ever Paralympic that we have been listed as an official event. So for me, it's a really dream come true, because before Tokyo 2021, it was a dream that you cannot pursue. It is not a real dream, but now today, the dream is coming up here. And I wish that we can fight winning the gold medal together to fight winning the COVID. And then I hope that everyone can stay healthy and stay safe.
Great. No, and I have no doubt, and I think Moran and Gael can confirm this better later, but I have no doubt that the Paralympics will be an unforgettable experience for you, and it will worth the time you waited for this dream. And also now I think everyone understands why I didn't mention the achievements of these speakers today, because it's incredible. You won 62 international tournaments, so congratulations on it also.
Thank you.
And also for Moran and for Gael. And now going here to a few questions that I have prepared here for you, and maybe starting here first with Moran. So Moran, you mentioned like a few minutes ago that the first sport that you practiced at the high level was basketball. So it wasn't rowing; it was a totally different sport. And then you practiced at first mainstream basketball, then wheelchair basketball, and then you ended in para rowing. And my first question for you was, why did you change it from basketball to rowing? And then how did all this change happen? So if you could share it a little bit with us.
Always first love, and when I went back to basketball, I felt that I'm falling in love again. Actually, it's different, but feeling of being an athlete, of having fun with friends, and feel it's like taking this out of disability, and sport for me is the ability. But I wanted the whole dream. After going back to sport, I wanted to reach the highest level I could ever get. And my team wasn't good enough. So the Paralympic Committee in Israel suggested that I will try some kind of individual sport. Now, for me, mentally, it was so different. All my life, I played with the team, and suddenly to sit in a boat by myself, I was usually playing in, air-conditioned environment, not outside in 90 humidity, 40 Celsius, or I don't know, very, very cold in the mornings. So it was so different. And you know what? I don't know if people know, but rowing, we go backward. So we push the blades forward, but the boat is going backward. In the beginning, I felt like people are crazy. I hit the bank and I hit some ducks in the river, but I had a dream. So if you ask me why I did it, I had a dream. And if I want to different, and para rowing was a very new sport. So statistically, I knew that it will be, if I will be good, then it will be easier to get to the highest level. And that was the case, especially, to develop sport for women, it's always harder than for men, and para is even harder. So thinking about my strength, my abilities, I'm tall, I'm very long, my arms are longer than my height. So calculating everything together, they suggested para rowing, and what can I say? They were right. I needed to do some adjustment, but you know what? I fell in love in the feeling that, first of all, whatever I put in the boat comes back to me. In team sport, and Gael knows it, you can give the best game of your life, but lose because other people didn't wake up with the same motivation as you that morning, and Daniel can understand the feeling of all the responsibility. I don't know if you also play couples, but when you play alone, then everything is on you. Some athletes that come from team sport, they are afraid about it, but I loved it. So,
No, and
yes, me too.
No, and it's worth to change, because you went not only you went to the Paralympics and you already went to a few games, but you were even able to win a medal in Rio. So it definitely worked.
And And Gael said, the win comes, but you have to lose some along the way. And my London was my first Paralympic Games, and I was able to qualify to the finals. So it's 6 boats in the final. And when I crossed the finish line at the final race and I look at the scoreboard, I realized I lost the bronze medal by 1 second. So 3 boats were crossing the line. I finished 5th, and the third place, fourth place, and fifth place all came in 1 second. So it was disappointing at first, but if I will tell the way I felt, but I think it's a general message for everybody. The way you talk to yourself will affect you eventually, and when you talk to yourself in a negative way, then it will be hard to get positive outcomes. So even though I lost the medal in 1 second, I said to myself, I was trying to make it the other way around. I said, what? Only 1 second away from bronze, it means I can do it. I just need 4 more years to sleep in my boat, to eat in my boat, to not leave my boat, but it's possible. And I think that this is something I was also able to do when I was injured and I was in the hospital. And I think it's a very important message, because if you're in a bad situation in life, it doesn't matter what was the cause for this situation, and you are able to, in a positive way, to speak to yourself, then you can sometimes overcome and even get even great results than you imagined before.
No, it's true. And then you went to Rio, and in Rio, I don't know by how many seconds, but you won the medal in Rio. So that's the proof that you should.
I can tell you that in 2015, 3 years after London, I was the world champion by 0.6 hundredths of a second.
So we should never give up, because when we don't give up, sometimes things don't happen on the first opportunity, but they will happen on the second, on the third, or when they will definitely happen. And you are the perfect example of it. Also, probably Daniel and Gael have stories of resilience. And my next question goes here for Daniel. So Daniel, you also were in times you were a mainstream badminton player. Then you had, with the accident, you had the transition for para-badminton, and you have a really top level nowadays in para-badminton. And my question for you was, how were you able to make from this transition from mainstream sport to para sport in an opportunity for you, and how did para-badminton contribute to change your life for better?
Actually, I would like to thank you, badminton. As what Jose you said, before my accident, I started to play badminton in a leisure level. And then at that moment, when I was young, I started to dream, can I represent my country, my city, to fight with other country? But because I haven't get any professional training when I was young, so okay, it's not my moment to represent my country or my city. And then because of one accident, so I get a chance. But actually for me, para-badminton is just like a religion in my life. Why I say that? When I was in hospital, people come to me and would like to have other religion to help me to recover from my accident, for my pain. So people usually they use religion to get better, just like Buddhism or Christian. But actually I have no religion. But in my life, badminton helped me to rebuild my life, rebuild my confidence. At that moment when I was in hospital or after discharge, I have no hopes, no future, and my dark age, and then of course no career. But because of badminton, I go back to wheelchair, and then I started to play a little bit, and then I get my first gold medal internally in Hong Kong, a very small gold medal. But it proved that I still have my value in my area. If you really work hard, there is still something to prove your value. So I started to put my time, to put all my passion into this sport. I hope myself can prove to everyone that even in Hong Kong, it's just a very small city, it can develop and it can grow a professional and international players in Hong Kong. So thank you, badminton, to help me to develop and rebuild my life. And I need to also thank you for our international federation, because they try everything to put para-badminton back to IPC as a IPC member. And then after they become the IPC member, they again to put para-badminton into Tokyo 2020 and now 2021. And after that, badminton or para-badminton become an icon of sport or para sport. As you may know, that there is a lot of superstar in badminton, and started para-badminton become an official event in Paralympic. Then people started to focus in para-badminton. So I'm lucky because I'm one of the medalists of this sport. So people started to spare some time to listen what I say, or to spare some time to read my story. So now I'm lucky to say I have so many chance to go to school for sharing. And in the last 10 years, I have nearly done over 150 school sharings in my life. So I started to have my platform to share my story and share my experience to the student, or for those people who are now suffering from pain or from accident. So I'm happy that badminton can give me so many platforms to show my possibility to people, and show that even though you are now suffering, or even now you're in the dark, if you work hard, you stay where you are, you do your thing in the right track, one day you will see the light, you will see the hope, you will see the wishes. So so this is what para-badminton give me, and I think it's a good way to let people know, okay, we are African and we are the role model in the society. So that's
Great.
it.
No, great. And as you mentioned, this will be the first games for Paralympic Games for para-badminton,
Yes.
for badminton. And what can we expect from para-badminton in Tokyo 2020? And what will be the new factor that para-badminton will take to the Paralympic Games and to the Paralympic movement? I know we have here a video to share that people can stay with the view of what is this incredible sport. But maybe if you would like just to give a few words about para-badminton, like then I can share the video also afterwards.
Of course. First of all, Japan is a really perfect location for badminton, because they have long history and pedigree with badminton, and they also have really so many badminton superstars locally in Japan. And for para-badminton, I'm proud to say that it's really a sport in fusion of different disability. We have a wheelchair, we have limb impairment, we have short statures, and also in a kind of matches, we have single, we have double, and we have max double. Yeah. So if you love to see the fusion in different disability and the fusion with different matching style, men and women together, then you can see all together in para-badminton. I wish that now we have some audience. If you really enjoy sport with different kind of combination, then you can try to enjoy what para-badminton can give you. Besides power, speed, and you can see some change and some variation inside our sport. So that's para-badminton.
Great. So I'll just share here the video. Let me check. Yeah, let me check here. Sorry, and I think now I will be able. Yeah. Can you see the video? Can you see? Great.
Yes.
I'll share here so that people can say with a taste of what para-badminton will take new to the Tokyo Games.
A flurry of lightning-fast hits. Para-badminton. This is the first time para-badminton has officially been included in the Paralympic Games. The rules of para-badminton are the same as badminton, with a match consisting of the best of 3 games up to 21 points. There are 2 types of event, wheelchair and standing, which are divided into 6 classes depending on type and severity of impairment. WH1 and WH2 are for wheelchair athletes. SL3 and SL4 are for athletes with a leg impairment. The lower the number in these 2 groups, the greater the impairment. In SU5, athletes have an arm impairment. and SH6 is for athletes with short stature. In the standing events, matches use the entire court, while the wheelchair events use half the court. Doubles uses the entire court apart from close to the net. The standing class features powerful play and speedy matches, making use of the athlete's strong upper bodies. Athletes with short stature cover it with skillful footwork. Athletes in wheelchairs skillfully use the limited space to move their opponent forward and backward. There are as many different styles of play as there are unique and individual athletes.
Great. So we are already here all counting our days for no, definitely. No, we
Thank
are
you.
all counting our days already for Tokyo. And my next question is related already. My next question is sorry, my next question is related already with the Tokyo Games, and I suppose we are it's coming closer and closing this wait that this year was even 1 year more, so we didn't need to wait 4 years, we needed to wait 5 years this time for the games, or in some cases like us, Daniel, we needed to wait all our lives for these games, these Paralympic Games. And you are all probably entering now in the last stage of your preparation for the Paralympic Games. And my question here is, like, how are you all preparing for the games? And also, like, we all know that we are living in different, let's say it in a nice way, in different times, in very different moments, and has somehow this coronavirus had impacted your preparation and has created new challenges? And also, did you saw any opportunity with these different times that we are living now to innovate a little bit also in the ways through which you prepare for high level competition, in this case for the Paralympic Games? And maybe here I'll start first with Gael. So Gael, you are from a very particular sport, you are from a team sport, so
Yes,
your sport,
yes.
as we were talking a few minutes ago, is not only dependent of yourself, you play with other people. And my question is, how are yourself and how is the French team in general, blind football team, preparing for Tokyo? And how are you trying to innovate with all these current challenges and different times?
Yes, my preparation and the preparation of our teams have been considerably disrupted during the first lockdown. And first, we have to adapt her training in March during the lockdown. And in practice, I bought an home trainer, and I cycled every single day. And at the end of the lockdown, I even hesitated to change my sport to become a cyclist. I also tried to make some fitness training between my room and my kitchen, but it was not so easy. I did it during maybe 1 month or 6 weeks. And I have to say, when the postponement of the Paralympic Games was announced, I stopped my preparation for during 2 or 3 weeks. It was mentally very hard during this time to think about training for Paralympic Games by knowing that we have to wait 18 months. So it was a little bit hard for me and for my team in general to continue to work hardly in order to be prepared. But since July, even if we don't have the best conditions, we can train again. We can train outside. We can train on the pitch, and we can train in group. That make it easier to train. Like you say, for football player, it's very important to work together, because we have to work our combination. We have to have some opponent to be well prepared. So yeah, since July it was easier, even if it's not the best condition, because we have to the public transportation are not the same as before. It make it a little bit difficult to move, and it's details, but it make the thing a little bit complicated.
Of course, it's totally true. And you have even the challenge that you need to practice in group, like with the rest of your team, and these are definitely challenging times. But hopefully we will overcome soon this pandemic, and by Tokyo you can be playing well with your teammates, and also achieving your expectations, your milestones.
Yes, we have 9 months now, and it was enough to be well prepared. And I think every team around the world will be very big, well prepared for this competition. And I'm sure that in Tokyo we will have in blind football a very high level. Yes.
I have no doubt of it, and it's an incredible sport. I already had opportunity to watch some matches of it, and if some people who are listening to us today didn't have the opportunity to watch a blind football match, I truly recommend you, because it's thrilling. It's incredible game. And Moran, like, I know you also needed to adapt a little bit your preparation due to the current circumstances we are living. And could you tell a little bit also how you innovated through this pandemic in order to keep at the highest level?
So as Gael said, the first days after the announcement that there is no Tokyo 2020 and no one knows exactly if it will be this, completely canceled or just delayed. So it was really bad news for athletes around the world. Everybody, I think, felt the same. Very depressing news. But I tried not to stay too long at this, kind of bad mood. And really fast, during the first lockdown, we arranged, I asked permission from everybody in the building where I live. It's many people, but I asked everybody if it's okay that I take the shelter in Israel. Every building has a underground shelter because of the situation. So I asked them if it's possible that I turn this shelter to a gym. And everybody agreed, and everybody said, yes, of course, whatever you need. And so really fast, we arranged everything. I brought my rowing machine and all the equipment that I need. And also I make sure I have like a small gymboree for the children, because everything became like a big mix. But it was amazing, because it was really the first time that my children saw me training every day, and how much they learned from it about being an athlete, about being commitment for something, and they felt that they are part of something bigger. And I think it was for our family, it wasn't easy, but it gave us a lot of new experiences, like a mixing of everything together. I was very, very happy to get reunited with my boat after a few months apart. We missed each other very much. I think the ducks were really happy at the river that there are no boats anymore.
When we thought that you disliked water before.
Yes, can you imagine? So yes, there are challenges, but like you said, I can see the advantages, and the fact that you are all guys, and for me as a woman to be competing and training while I was pregnant, and then really soon after giving birth. And it was very complicated, and it affected my abilities for sure. And now I have another 1 year to recover. It's been 2.5 years since I gave birth, and every month is completely different. When you are far from that experience, the body was, it's like you initiated your own injury. You know, it wasn't easy, but I will come to Tokyo much stronger. I'm taking this advantage for me to fight for the gold. So this is my aim.
Great to know, and it's incredible to see that the positive way, and how you made all these challenges and also in an opportunity for you to be with your children, and also for you to innovate a little bit your preparation, and you'll see that you'll be great in Tokyo.
And also, you know, the Zoom is making it possible to meet people around the world. And
Yes.
Daniel talked about the way he's telling his story. I don't know if Gael is doing the same, but for me also, it was a very, very big part of my life. And I was going for schools, high schools, companies, and sharing my story. And in 1 minute, everything stopped. So now with the Zoom, I realized I can do it from home. And I remember it was about maybe 6 weeks ago where I did like an open session for young athletes. And I said, you know, free, no, you don't need to pay anything. And I had almost 500 young athletes from every part of my country. And usually you don't have a chance to meet so many in one time and from so many different parts of your country, and of course the world. So I think, yes, we need to, if we want to stay happy, if we want to stay positive about life, we have to find the advantages in every obstacle and every challenge and every situation that we have. And even if in the beginning, and it's only natural to you know, feel bad and be sad sometimes, okay, it's understood. But if you want to make something out of your life, you cannot stay there for too long. You have to be active and positive and do whatever you can.
Wow, incredible. No, this is the right spirit and the right mentality, and now it's me who needs to do this. So incredible. and Daniel, coming back to you, I suppose
Yes.
you also have had some challenges. You also needed to adapt your preparation to these different
Yeah.
times. And and in your case, I suppose like now you are even more motivated to go to Tokyo because you wanted this for all your life, and you need to wait 1 more year. But normally, from my experience is that the things that we give more value and that are better for us are the ones that are more difficult to achieve. So I have
Yeah.
no doubt that Tokyo will be even better now for you. But
Yeah.
how have you been adapting your preparation to these different times?
Well, before my part, I would like to rewind a little bit for Moran. Yeah, I totally agree with what Moran say. Life, sometimes you cannot make sure what happened to you or what isn't happened to you, but you can have your choice to take your attitude to choice what is your reaction. And I can suggest Moran to do a sharing with Hong Kong Athletic too. So because now we have Zoom, so you can do it to Hong Kong too. So go back to my part. I'm a lucky one because in Hong Kong, because I am a full-time athlete. So and the situation in Hong Kong is not that bad. The worst number of the day we just got 100 and something. It's the worst number. So
Wow.
compared with others, so we are not that bad. In my memory, we just like stopped the training for 2 weeks or 2.5. So it's not that bad. But in this situation, I have 2 big changes, or maybe called challenge. The first thing is I get used to go out for training or go out for competition every month in my life, in my career life. But now I stay in Hong Kong for like 10 months or 12 months I stay here. So the rhythm is totally different. Before I train 2 weeks and then I go outside for training or competition, and then I come back for another training 2 weeks, something like that. But now it's totally different. You stay here for just training, and sometimes you need to make sure your mental is okay with only training but no motivation, because no matches, that means no motivations. So I need to discuss it with my coaching team to have some new technical things to make sure that you will not burn out. Because if you look at my body, you can understand I'm a people with power and speed, only power and power. But because we have 12 months more to prepare for the Paralympics, so they want me to change a little bit from a power man to be a softer man. Okay, to do something with technical things, and then to be softer. Try not to too rude to the shuttlecocks. Try to treat the shuttlecock a little bit softer. So it's a good change. And then after the change, and I started to think, I can make my career path a little bit longer. Even I started to think about Paris in 2024, because now I'm not only a man with power or speed, then I have more technique. So it's a good move in this additional 12 months. Another funny thing is, because I'm the only wheelchair players in Hong Kong for wheelchair badminton. So before, I get used to go outside for competition or go outside for training with other countries. But now I'm locked myself in Hong Kong for 30 months. That means in the past 30 months, I've never been playing against any wheelchair players. So I'm missing my opponent so much. Actually, we fight on court, but now I miss them so much. So I really hope that the vaccine will come up, or we can have some traffic bubbles, or the COVID-19 will suddenly disappear, and then we can get back on court, and then we can get back on plane, and then go to other places to find my opponent, and I will give them a big hug or a big kiss, because I miss them so much.
No, it's true, and we really hope that this pandemic will overcome this soon, and that you can meet again your opponents and compete again. Hopefully, even before Tokyo. Hopefully, you can compete again before Tokyo. No, and it's like it's been a great conversation, and you have, the three of you have really incredible stories and an incredible life experience, and I think we'll have questions and topics to be here talking until tomorrow morning. I know, Daniel, for you, it's in your case, it's already tomorrow morning, but for you until tomorrow afternoon in your case.
My eyes still open. It's okay.
Great. No, and you are not tired at all.
You still make sense. Don't worry, Daniel. You still make sense.
I'm not drunk.
No. But unfortunately, we have a limitation that happens not only in sports but happens also in webinars. That is time. and today we have 3 webinars. This is the second one, and we'll have one starting right after this one. So I will need to skip many questions that I had in mind here for you today, but I still have time to answer you my last question for each of you, and it's a 2-in-1 question. So to compensate it will be 2-in-1. And my last question for each of you will be, if you, in brief words, you could mention first the best moment in your career. And here I know it will be in Tokyo, but as we are still before in time than Tokyo Games. So the best moment before Tokyo. Then next year we can do another call and it will be about Tokyo. That's the best moment. And in one statement, in a few words, what does your sport mean for you? And how does it impact your daily life? So in the case of Moran is para rowing, the case of Gael is blind football, and the case of Daniel is para-badminton. Maybe here we can continue with the same order. So maybe Gael, do you want to start, and then we go to Moran, and then we end up with Daniel?
So best moment for me, it was of course when we won the silver medal in London. Even if we lost against Brazil, but it was an amazing moment for us. And for me, blind football, it's like reach a dream, because when I was child, I said I love football, and I still love it, and to be an athlete, and to make some kind of performance like in my sport, it's like a dream. And I should say that I'm not a professional in this sport. I don't live with this. I'm lawyer, so I have to deal with my job and my passion. But it was not so hard, because for me every games, every training in football is a pleasure. So the first part is of my answer will be to say that the football for me means pleasure before everything.
Great. No, and it's true. Like sports is pleasure. It's funny because I also studied law and I also love football. So I totally understand you, Gael. I totally. And yes, no, and then of course, like the best moment, like a silver medal, it's probably unforgettable. And
Yeah.
Moran, going back to you, the same questions, 2 in 1,
So-
your best moment and what the para.
So it's very hard to choose one moment in such a long career. But I can say that being a world champion is for sure one of the greatest moments of my life. And my medal in Rio Paralympic Games was September 2016, and my injury was my spinal stroke was September 2006. So from that moment, after 10 years, I find myself on the biggest podium in the world with a medal on my chest and a baby on my lap. That's a different story. We don't have time for that. But two dreams that came true in 2016 together. So this was that they were able to bring my child from the crowd to the podium. So I was tearing really, but a different story. And for me, sport and para-rowing and sport in general is freedom. It's freedom from my disability. It's freedom from problems in life. It's just a part of the air that I breathe. And as I said in the beginning, that's my way to take the this out of disability and live a full life for me. And I think this is the place where I feel the most valuable, able, and every other good word that you can think about in the dictionary.
Oh, great. And we can definitely see that 2016 was definitely unforgettable for you. And
Yes.
and it was probably an intense year, and it has
Very
all the reason
intense
to
And you
unforgettable.
you are the only one of this on this panel that could have this kind of experience.
Yes.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
Daniel, what
Okay.
was your best moment, and what does para-badminton mean for you and for your life?
Okay. For the most special moment for my career is 2 years ago at the same period, I won a gold medal in Australia, and I won the world number one the first time. I won the world number one players in the game. So the most special thing is for the number one player, he hasn't been beaten since his career started for 8 years. So
Wow.
I am the first one in the world who beat him. So everyone call him as the god of wheelchair badminton. So every time we are just fighting for the second, we are fighting for the seat for the man who is the closer to the god. But now finally I'm being the man who winning the god. So it's really the most marvelous moment in my career life. And for para badminton, I have two single word means to me. The first one is fair. In our normal life, we have so many unfair things happen surrounding us, just like discrimination or so many unfairness. But only in sport, we have I can say 100% fair condition. We have a classification which we put our impairments, very similar impairment, into a same group. Especially for my sport, we have honest player, we have green matching, and we have a fair system to protect us, so we can pursue our dream in a really fair way. And the second single word is family, because in my last 11 years in para badminton, we meet every enemy, and then we treasure every enemy, and then now we are friends, we are family. So thank you, badminton, to give me the second family
Great.
in my life.
No, it's really cool how badminton also influences your life, and I know that if anytime I know an athlete that says me that is an unbeatable, and I'll know who will I call, because I know that there is someone that can beat. If you say that you're unbeatable, you'll end with that. There is no impossibles for you and for Daniel, and for Gael and for Moran, definitely no. And so, well, what a session. It was really great to have you here today, I think. And as I mentioned, like unfortunately time limits us, because otherwise I think we would have time here until tomorrow morning. And when I say tomorrow morning, it's not your tomorrow morning, Daniel, it will be ours tomorrow morning. That is still quite later than yours. And I just wanted to say a huge thank you to each of you for giving your time, and also for sharing all this incredible life experience and your knowledge in your sport and the dreams that you have. And of course I would like to wish you the best of luck for Tokyo. I have no doubt you'll be great and you will achieve your dreams. And please take a picture when you will meet in Tokyo.
Of course.
For sure.
We'll be looking forward for pictures and for seeing your outstanding achievements. And in the meantime, I would just like to pass again the word to each of you. I don't know if any of you would like to just say some final words and some closing remarks just before we pass to the next webinar.
Just
don't give up
thank
for
you.
anything. I hope all the audience can stay healthy and don't give up even though you are in hard time. Just like sport, we fight for every moment. So even COVID-19 is very strong, then we can fight against them.
Thank you, definitely.
And the Paralympic Games will be the final, to say we can beat everything, also COVID.
Yes,
definitely.
True.
There are no impossibles. Yeah, definitely. So thank you. I'll just before leaving this school, I'll just share our next webinar. That will be the last webinar of this year. So it will be our last webinar, and will also be a great session then with a very also important topic. So we'll be more focused in football, and in particular in foundations of top football clubs, and how can these foundations contribute to improve access and inclusion of disabled people in sports in general. And we'll have 4 great speakers. So we'll have Diego Garcia, who is the general director of Fundación Getafe, from Getafe Football Club in Spain. We'll have Nuno Costa, who is the executive secretary of Fundação Benfica from Portugal. We'll have Wim Billard, who is the DAO and coordinator of the Ghent Foundation from Belgium. And last but not least, we'll have Rachel Lomax, who is the accessibility advisor from Everton Football Club from England. And this session will start in approximately half an hour, and we are looking forward to having everyone again together with us in 30 minutes. So thank you very much again, Gael, Daniel, and Moran. And
thank you.
Good luck for Tokyo, and we'll speak soon again. I have no doubt.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you all in Tokyo.
Thank you.
See you in Tokyo.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.